I do get a lot of calls on what type of guns to use for different types of hunting. So it kind of inspired me to do a video here on, again, what does the modern hunter need for guns? I'm going to do it in 4 parts. The first part is going to be what my father and his father used for guns, you know, anywhere from the 30s up to maybe the 80s, versus what we use today for modern guns and the differences between them. Second part will be for deer. What type of guns do we use for deer? Third part will be upland game birds, small game, squirrel, rabbit, things like that. And I'll do a 4th part on, you know, youth hunters, women hunters that might need a shorter stock gun because they're not as tall, or they don't like recoil and hard kicking guns. So I'm going to put this video together. We'll get it out there for you soon, and hope you enjoy it. Have a good day, guys and girls. Be good. So I figured I'd do a video here of hunting guns and what it takes to get started. Back in the day, when my dad and grandfather hunted, they needed 3 guns. They needed a rifle, they needed a .22 for small game, squirrels and things, and a shotgun. Today, to replace these 3 guns, we typically have about 6 guns. But I just kind of want to let you know, for you beginners, you don't need to do that. There's a lot simpler things, and as you get older, get a real job, start making some more money, there'll be things you'll be able to do. Starting with what my dad and grandfather used. Speaking of, it's my grandfather's old hat. He actually wore this, and there's little lead figurines here of elk and deer and all kinds of different things. Really cool. I have pictures of him with it. This is my dad's knife and notches on it for the number of deer he got. And this was his last hunting license back in 2017. He passed in 2018. But it means a lot to me, so I kind of keep it around and I get to look at it. These are his guns, okay? This is a 30-30 with a 6-power scope. Super simple, micro groove, made in Connecticut. Didn't need much more than this. Today, guys frown upon a 30-30 being not the best ballistics. This has probably killed more deer with this cartridge across the Northeast and probably the country than any other gun. Still works great. Compact, really good little woods gun. My father's .22. Okay, simple, just a wood stock, single shot, super easy. As a kid, this is what I learned to shoot with. And then his shotgun. Okay, when you're looking at a shotgun today, there's a broad spectrum of things that shotguns do. I'll get into that a little bit, but again, we're trying to get people into this for relatively inexpensive entry level, and hopefully get 1 or 2 guns to try to do what, again, I'm going to show you what 6 guns do for me. This is a Remington 870. It's a smooth bore. It's not rifled. And I killed my first turkey with this gun. I shot my first pheasant with this gun and did all my skeet shooting and everything else. A lot of fun. Simple. It more than anything, it sits in my safe right now and means a lot to me as it was my dad's gun. And as I want to mention too, the 30-30 here did take my first deer. I'm going to slide these over and kind of give you an idea of what comes next in your progression of getting guns for yourself. So at this point, I am getting my nephew into hunting. And he doesn't have much money. He's in college, but he really enjoys getting out in the woods. So what do you do with someone that's brand new? Again, their budget's extremely low. How do you get things going? When I first started, this is basically the first gun I bought. This is a Mossberg 835 pump, okay? It's got a little 4-power turkey scope on it. It's set up for turkey right now. It's got a turkey choke. I used to take this gun, go turkey hunting with it, killed my first and many, many turkeys with it. When it was time to deer hunt, I didn't have time to buy a second gun. What I did was I bought a second barrel. Now this barrel is rifled, and you pop off the turkey barrel, you put your slug barrel on. I would re-sight the scope in, and that's what I had to do. Worked great, had no problems with it. I could still use it today. I'll never sell this gun just because it's done so much for me. It's taken my first deer, shotgun deer I should say, and again, when it was time to go pheasant hunting, I took off the turkey scope. I put a different choke in the end of it, and I went pheasant hunting. I went rabbit hunting. I went squirrel hunting. That's all I had. It was a simple 12 gauge, probably a $600 overall package, maybe almost 30 years ago now, but gun is still relevant. They still sell this gun, and when any one of my friends ask, what do I get for one gun that covers everything, I tell them, go get a Mossberg 835 or Remington 870 with 2 barrels so you can get everything you need to get done. And again, my nephew, I did get him a pump shotgun and a simple 270 rifle so he can deer hunt. These are the things we're going to talk about now is what do you really need to be a hunter in the Northeast and maybe across America. So, deer hunting, big game. You need a rifle. Shotgun. In certain areas, you can only use a shotgun. You can't use your rifle. Seasons, muzzleloader. You'll be able to hunt more if you have these three classes of guns. A rifle, a slug gun, which is for deer, and a muzzleloader. We'll get to the other types of shotguns for small game upland birds in a little bit. So, I'm going to pull each one of these out and tell you what I do with it. Here's my rifle. Okay? This is chambered in 7mm rem mag. For deer hunting, it might be a little overkill. I do have different barrels that I can use a smaller caliber. But again, if you need one gun and you want to go deer hunting with it in the Northeast or, again, across America, I like 30-06 and 308 chambers. I actually sent some text out to some friends earlier today and said, what would you pick if you can only use one gun? And I got those answers back. So an 06 and a 308. They were both used in World War II as sniper guns. They have a ton of ammunition and it's plentiful, especially during COVID when it was really hard to get ammo. 30-06 and 308 were always available. They're great guns, great deer guns. The 06 will even take you up into the elk category. And I can tell you the 308, I was out west 2 years ago and my best friend has an 08. And he said, I'm bringing my 308. He knocked an elk down. I don't think it went 10 yards. So those two calibers are great. If you're only going to get one gun and use that for deer hunting, it'll last you the rest of your life. Ironically, some of the animals you see behind you, including this lechwe, and some of the skins you see and some of the African animals. I was in Africa 2 Februaries ago, and I didn't bring my guns. It was a little bit difficult to get them through customs and things like that. I didn't want to lose anything. So I used one of their guns, and they supplied me with a 308. Was not expecting this. In the middle of Africa, I'm expecting a 375 H&H or a 338 Win Mag. No, I have a 308. And I can tell you, I took a blue wildebeest at 348 yards with one shot with a 308. And, many other animals had zero problems. Gave me a newfound respect for that 308 caliber. So, moving on a little bit here. What am I going to do if I go to an area and they don't let me use my rifle for deer hunting? If it's cow county, upstate New York, Cortland, a few other places had rules where you could only use shotguns. What does a deer shotgun look like, or a slug gun? This is a Savage 20 gauge slug gun. It's almost exactly like a rifle. It's a bolt action. I have a scope of 2x7 here. You don't need as long of a distance as you would with a rifle. This scope here, I could shoot out to 500 or more yards with it. This gun is made for anywhere between out to about 200 yards. It's got a magazine that drops out. Super simple. This gun, set up the way it is probably about $600 or $700. As a kid, didn't have that choice. I used my dad's smooth barrel shotgun. I missed more than I hit. This gun here, it's deadly. You get in the woods with it, it's going to act just like a rifle. So this is gun number 2 that a new person is going to need. Especially on Long Island, you can only use a shotgun. There's another season here. This is a muzzleloader. Okay? In New York and many other areas around the country, you have muzzleloader seasons. These muzzleloader seasons bring you either further into January, or it may even start before the rifle season. This gun is deadly at 200 yards. So not having a muzzleloader really holds you back and shortens your seasons. So I highly recommend going out and getting a muzzleloader. They're the cheapest of the guns. I mean, this gun set up the way it is probably $500 for the gun, maybe. Scope is a loopholed 3x9, fairly simple, $299 scope. So here you go. And the third gun in my 3-gun section that I use for deer hunting: my rifle, my slug gun, shotgun, and my muzzleloader. Super easy. Again, the new person coming in, you do need all 3 of these guns. You can get each of them fairly inexpensive, and look at the different makes and models. I mean, you can go from a Seiko to Ruger American Rifle, and the price difference might be, $3,000 to $4,000. So all today's guns shoot fairly well. There is a quality difference, but if you're just getting into it, a Ruger American Rifle will get you in the game for about $400. I'm going to slide these down and get into some of these other shotguns you need for different types of hunting that we do. I know it seems like a lot of guns, but this is what we do today. This is what we convince ourselves that we need. My dad would look at it and say, you're crazy. Moving forward, upland game birds. You're talking about pheasants, quail, dove. Then you have your small game, squirrel, rabbit. I use a simple 20 gauge semi-automatic shotgun. It's an A300 in Beretta. It's black, anodized here. I'm not worried about scratching it, dinging it. This I'm dragging through the woods, moving fairly quickly. I beat it up, but it's a solid all-around gun. Does a great job for me. Next gun. This is my 12 gauge, I would consider my duck gun. It's got a longer range and it handles 3.5-inch shells. I'll use this if I'm duck hunting, and it's also a great turkey gun. You're able to, again, use bigger loads, longer distances. When birds are flying faster, I suggest a 12 gauge, especially when you have, again, high winds, ducks, things like that. You might need to knock them down. Then, my third shotgun. This is my turkey gun. Okay? It's got a little red dot on it. Optics for turkey are advisable. I'm able to look through here, put that red dot on the turkey. I like the pistol grip. I like the pistol grip for this. Makes it clean. When you're sitting down, you're able to get a good grip on it. This is a Benelli. I have Berettas, I have Benellis, I have Mossbergs, and I have Remingtons. So each one of these guns have done well for me, and some of them are, 50 years old. I have another topic here, and it's about kids. We'll say women too, just because of their height or stature, or lack of comfort with hard kicking or recoil guns. So I'm going to slide these out of the way here and talk a little bit about that. I have 2 young huntresses in my family, and my daughters. They hunt with me, and again, what they use isn't necessarily what I use because of their size. This is a 20 gauge shotgun from Mossberg. Okay? It's got an adjustable stock like an AR. And it's not for it to look tough, although it is called a turkey thug. It's so when they're sitting on the ground and they have to hold the gun up against their body to try to shoot at the turkey. If it's out here, it doesn't aim as well. So they're able to pull it in tight and aim with their red dot scope here and aim at the turkey. Both of them have killed turkeys with this. Our first one was about 12, the other one was about 14. So their first experience is, hunting, killing, shooting, feeling recoil was with this gun. And again, it's a 20 gauge. It's got a turkey choke on it. Super easy. It's got a hand grip here so that your hand doesn't slide off. I also like to have kids use a pump shotgun as opposed to a semi-automatic shotgun. I like them to have to pump the gun to get the second load in there. If it's a semi-automatic, the load is automatically ready to go. And a 12, a 13, 14, even a 16-year-old may not be experienced enough to know that that load is ready to go. And it just prevents accidents. I've never had one, but again, I don't like seeing that second shell being ready right away on someone that's that young. You're next to them, but again, it's important to be safe. For me, if I extended this, it's perfect for my length. As you get to a shorter person, works better. And as you sit on the ground, you're crouched up, you're resting the gun on your knees. Again, this helps a lot. You can buy this extra stock for about $100, maybe even $150. Put it on a smaller shotgun for a kid, and I can guarantee you they'll be a lot more comfortable. They'll enjoy it. They won't feel the kick, and they'll continue hunting with you as they get older. I made a mistake once of giving my wife a turkey gun to try with a 3.5-inch load. I'm still paying for that now because she doesn't feel comfortable shooting shotguns. So don't make that mistake. If you're going to have somebody shoot a shotgun for the first time, or a rifle, don't put them in a big caliber. Don't put them in a 3.5-inch load. Put them in a number 8 shot, something that you'd hunt dove or skeet shoot with, so that they feel comfortable with it. When they're hunting, they're not going to feel the kick. But when they're in the range, they're going to. Make them feel comfortable with the gun. Make them feel comfortable with the recoil so that they don't have that memory forever every time they pick up a gun. Back to my kids' guns. Well, they're adults now. They're in their 20s. So this is the smallest caliber that you can hunt with. I believe it's a .223. And my younger daughter doesn't like recoil. They actually have deer loads for a .223. My slightly older daughter will use a .243 to hunt with. So the recoil on this is minimal, and it's deadly on a deer. Some people will disagree with me on that, but if you do some research, a lot of people do hunt deer with .223s. Obviously, .243 is a well-known round for it. Keeps her comfortable, keeps her in the woods with me. That's what matters most when I talk about my kids and being in the woods. Okay, hope that gave you a little bit of an understanding of what type of guns you're going to need. In the past, 3 guns would do it. Now, you're looking at upwards of 6. Your rifle, your deer slug gun or shotgun, your muzzle loader. Those are your 3 deer guns that span all the seasons in New York and most of the country. Then when you're looking at shotguns, I break it up into 3. A smaller shotgun for my upland birds, for squirrel, rabbit, things like that. Again, that was this black gun here that I enjoy to beat the bushes with. When I'm duck hunting, I prefer to use a larger shell, a 3.5-inch load, something a little more powerful I can reach out with. And when I'm turkey hunting, I have a specific turkey gun that has an optic on it. I don't move that optic on and off, and that's why I don't use my duck gun for turkey or my turkey gun for duck. That's pretty much it for today. I hope you got something out of it, and hit me up. Let me know if you have any other questions with it. Have a good day.